Okay, I'm back. I've been trying to get this up, and again, I'm running into distractions and interruptions, but I'm going to try this again. We left off where I had mentioned the bow being symbolic for falsehood and deceit. And we had gone over how the seals line up with what Christ had told his disciples in Matthew 24, how that take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. That lines up with seal 1 about the deceit in the Antichrist spirit and the falsehood of what the Antichrist represents. Okay? And then we saw the second seal, which is taking peace from the earth, which is war. And we see it right here where Christ says, and ye shall hear of war and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. Okay, and then the third seal is the black horse, which is famine. And of course we see that stated right behind war, right here in verse 7 where it says, and there shall be famine. Okay, and then we see the fourth seal, which is death, by all means. And we see that Matthew says, and pestilence and earthquakes in various places. So we see that Christ is speaking in order what we see going on with the seals. And then after what Christ says that line up with the first 4 seals, and this is very important because it's about timing, okay? We see Christ speaking of the first 4 seals. And the last one being the one that is the pale horse, and his rider is death, and hell follows after him. Okay, that takes us back to Psalm 18 again, okay? So what I've been trying to point out here is how Psalm 18, what the Lord has showed me, is how Psalm 18 applies to the last days, and the timing of what's going on in the last days of the 4 seals, of which Christ had spoke of as being sorrows. And these are the beginnings of sorrows, because right here we see the sorrows of death and the sorrows of hell, and that's what God was drawing my attention to. We made the connection with Revelation, and here we made the connection with Matthew. And we made the connection of Matthew, where it mentions sorrows, and how Matthew connects with the seals, where the Lord took me to death and hell in Revelation. So it all fits together. Okay, and I feel like the point of God drawing my attention to these things is to set the timing, so that we know the timing of Psalm 18. And we know that it applies to these last days. So, having done a little summary here of what we have already covered and what the Lord is taking me to with this, giving me these understandings of how Revelations and Matthew 24 line up with each other, and how this lines up